The porch that stood. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He just moved. One elbow crushed the first man's nose. Blood exploded like a scene from a war film. The second man launched straight through the screen door and landed headfirst in the coffee table. And that all happened before the real cops even showed up. But let's not begin there. Let's rewindow the last moment. It still felt like an ordinary afternoon. It was one of those gentle midweek afternoons that made the world feel bearable again. The kind of calm where even the breeze has manners. The kind you want to bottle up and save for when life goes sideways. On that porch, nestled against the faded white siding of her house with the green shutters and the dented mailbox that hadn't latched properly since 1996, sat Eleanor May Hartman grandma, Ellie, to anyone who mattered. She was wearing her favorite floral cardigan, sipping sweet tea with exactly 3 ice cubes. Not 2, not 4, always 3. That was just her way. Around her bloomed a patchwork jungle of potted marigolds, trailing petunias, and one stubborn sunflower that had somehow survived the last frost. The wind chimes above the porch swing sang a familiar metallic lullaby. It was peace. Real peace, the kind only grandmothers and old porches know how to make. I had come by that morning with my cousin, Taylor Hartman. He rolled up in his beat-up Dodge with a 6-pack of soda, a streak of engine grease down one arm, and that deep, quiet presence of someone who's seen things you don't ask about. We were painting Grandma's Finstaler's idea. Actually, said the white paint looked more like nicotine beige now, and Grandma deserved better. Taylor was the kind of guy who stood out without trying. Buzz cut that never fully grew out, shoulders that looked sculpted from grit, and hands that remembered war more than words. Iraq did that to him. He came home quieter, but never weaker. We had just finished panel number 2 when Grandma laughed really laughed as a squirrel flopped trying to climb the bird feeder pole. It made her cackle. That kind of laugh could make the world stop spinning. That's when I heard it. A low-engine hum, steady and wrong. I turned. A matte black SUV rolled down the street, not sped, not cruise crept. No plats. No agao alog. No dealership magnet. Just black. Taylor noticed it too. I saw his jaw tighten before his mouth moved. He laid the brush down, wiped his hands on a rag, and tracked the vehicle until it stopped right in front of Grandma's house. Out stepped a man in wraparound sunglasses, shaved head, and a polo shirt tucked militantly into creased khakis. He held a clipboard. His partner, bulkier and sunburned, stayed in the driver's seat, one hand suspiciously close to a very real-looking belt holster. They didn't smile, didn't greet, just walked up the driveway like they owned it. Afternoon, clipboard said, voice like sandpaper. We're with the HOA Enforcement Division. Need to speak with the property owner. Grandma squinted behind her glasses. That'd be me, Sugar. You've been served 3 written notices for code violations. We're executing a final compliance order today. This property is marked for removal. I stepped forward, confused. Removal? The second man answered, eyes unreadable behind mirrored shades. Unauthorized porch items. Una prueba de exterior declaraciones. Repeated resistance to compliance. We're authorized under HOA Statute 14B. Taylor didn't move, but I knew the signs. His shoulders coiled like compressed steel. Porch items. Grandma blinked. You mean my flowers? Clipboard flipped a page. Wind chimes. Excessive floral arrangements. Non-regulation mailbox. Lawn gnomes. I actually laughed. You're evicting her for lawn gnomes? Taylor stepped forward slowly. You got a warrant? We're acting under internal enforcement protocol. No warrant required. That statute's not law, Taylor replied, voice tight. And this is her home. You're not walking in. Clipboard stepped up, sneering. If she doesn't comply voluntarily, we are authorized to initiate forced removal of personal property and occupants. The color drained from Grandma's face. She shrank in that rocking chair. My fist balled. But Taylor froze like steel in winter. No, he said. Just one word. Heavy. Final. Clipboard locked eyes with him. You interfering, son? But Taylor didn't respond. That's when the bulkier guy brushed past us and reached for the front door. No knock. No pause. Just grab the handle. The porch stilled. Grandma didn't move. Taylor did. He stepped forward like the floor had issued a challenge. "Don't," he said, voice low. The man smirked. "HOA business. Step aside." Taylor didn't. Then clipboard moved. He dropped the papers and drew a stun baton from his hip, one of those black rods that buzz with voltage, built to intimidate. "Final warning," he said, pointing at Taylor's chest. That sound, the crackling pop of electric threat, sliced the air. And that's when Taylor's switch flipped. His left hand snapped up, seized the man's wrist midair. With a twist of hips, the baton flew harmlessly to the floor. Then came the elbow clean, surgical, full force into Clipboard's face. There was a crunch like a sack of walnuts. Clipboard dropped, nose shattered, sunglasses shattered, everything shattered. Grandma screamed. I stepped back. The other man moved, but too late. Taylor launched forward, grabbed the guy by the collar, and threw him off the porch. He crashed into the lawn like a tossed scarecrow, groaning, sprawled. Taylor was on him instantly, 3 strides, then boom slammed him against the SUV hard enough to rock it. "You want to play pretend cop?" Taylor shouted. "Try pretending to breathe through a collapsed trachea." The man wheezed. Clipboard groaned. Blood everywhere. Grandma, still shaking, stepped off the porch phone to her ear. "Yes, ma'am," she said to 911. "We've got 2 men impersonating officers. One's bleeding. The other might need an ambulance if he doesn't shut his damn mouth." Taylor eased off. The man slid to the ground. I reached for Taylor's arm. "They might sue." "They were armed." He cut me off. "They crossed a line." He was right. This wasn't about HOA bylaws. This was about intimidation, impersonation, invasion. They picked her house because it looked easy. They didn't know about Taylor. Sirens wailed in the distance. We waited. Then the second man, bleeding, desperate, lunged. Taylor caught the motion, sidestepped, grabbed his shirt, and threw him straight through the screen door. The hinges exploded. Glass from the coffee table shattered like fireworks. A porcelain bowl detonated on the wall. The man hit the floor. Hard. Groaning. Broken. Done. Taylor stepped through the wreckage like a ghost. "You're insane," the man coughed. Taylor knelt beside him. "No, I'm the reason this didn't end worse." Then the neighbors started showing up. First Mr. Donnelly across the street. Then the Washburns. Then kids with cell phones. No one said Taylor went too far. No one said call the HOA hotline. They clapped. Literally clapped. Then came the cruisers. Deputies swarming. One stepped forward. "You Taylor Hartman?" he asked. Taylor nodded. "I'm Deputy Markham. My brother served with you in Mosul." Taylor blinked. The deputy looked at the moaning men, the ruined door, the blood, the buzzing stun baton still fizzing on the porch. "Why, and Fossem, who?" Markham muttered. "Yeah, that's not in the handbook." He ordered medics. Arrests. Evidence collection. "You okay?" he asked. Taylor nodded. "They picked the wrong house. That's what my brother said about you." Inside, Grandma stepped around the shattered table and picked up a piece of ceramic fruit. She looked down at the imposter. "You owe me a new table." Taylor muttered, "Add that to the charges." Markham chuckled. "You sure you're not rejoining the force?" Taylor just shook his head. Retired. The video hit the internet that night. I uploaded the porch cam footage. Blurred Grandma's face. Left everything else. By dawn, 1 million views. Then 3. Then 7. The story exploded. Reddit. Facebook. News networks. VidForum. Suburban watchdog groups. Veteran turns fake HOA enforcers into furniture. Don't mess with Grandma. Even Oprah Daily ran a headline. The men Darren Rigg and Mitchell Hale have been running scams across 3 counties. No IDS, no affiliation, just intimidation and the occasional stolen jewelry or cash. But not here. Not on Grandma Ellie's porch. The sheriff's office filed charges. Impersonation, fraud, elder abuse, unlawful entry, assault. Neighbors created a fake HOA watch group that gained 14,000 members in a week. Someone made shirts, stickers, mugs. Taylor didn't care. He just said, "Keep Grandma safe." Weeks passed. We bought a new table, solid oak, handmade. The craftsman gave us a discount and carved something into the side. Don't mess with Grandma's house. She cried when she saw it, because for the first time in a long time, she felt seen. At the trial, Taylor testified in jeans and a flannel shirt. Calm, direct. They pretended to be something they weren't, he said. They stepped into her home. That was their last mistake. The sentence, 8 years. No parole. Outside the courtroom, someone handed Grandma a flower. You remind me of my Nana, they whispered. A year later, Grandma passed. Peacefully, in her sleep. The porch stood. So did the table. And the sign. Justice doesn't need a badge. Sometimes, it just needs a porch. The story lives on it, just about two men who got what they deserved, but about a woman with iron in her bones and a soldier who never stopped standing guard. And every Sunday, Taylor still visits that porch. Not for the views, not for the internet, but for the cobbler and the promise he made.